Hello, let that shit bang.
All right, everybody, welcome to Crow Judgment with special guest. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Oh, this is YellowFlash. What's going on?
Not much. Just we're doing a bonfire in the backyard for my fiance's birthday. A lot of fun. I always get to do the whole it's April Fool's Day, so I forgot your birthday, forgot your present. It doesn't get old. Well, for me, it does for her though.
Oh yeah, you think you get sick because she probably had it her whole life.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Well, it's
people like forgetting her birthday, it's April 1st. Like, haha, it was funny the first 15, 16 times, 18 times, 20 times. Now I'm kind of sick of it.
You know what though? It's really funny, right? So her brother goes ahead and sends her a message. It was like happy 27th birthday, right? And so she just turned 26. And he walks up to me, he's like, hey, so how old is Jasmine, right? And I'm like, you're her brother, dude. just tell her it's a fucking April Fool's joke because he already sent her a message on her phone and she's already gone to her mom to complain about it.
Yeah, it's easy to forget when you have a lot of birthdays to remember, though. I can understand that. Yeah, no, she's got
quite a few siblings, so it's pretty cool. I just moved over to Indy with her, so we're still getting used to all that. All right, guys. So let's do this. Right now, we're going to be talking about my. I used to be such a huge fan of Marvel comics. I used to fucking love them. I got like.
A lot of people used to be fans of Marvel comics.
Oh, dude. I remember like a few years ago, I got the 90s X-Men tattoo. I got Spidey on my arm. I got the classic Fantastic Four logo. And then I think it was 6 months later, they started launching all those rebrands. The first one where they brought in Ironheart. And I was just like...
Oh, all new, all different. Yeah.
I was like, that was the worst.
When you would go see Iron Man, and then you were like, I want to go read an Iron Man comic, and you would go to the comic book shop and you'd say, give me an Iron Man issue, and a 15-year-old black girl.
That's the weirdest thing to me, right? Like, why are you still fucking calling it Iron Man? Oh wait, right. We got to be progressive. Men can be women, and women can be useless. I don't know.
Well, they made Tony Stark a hologram in the book, so he was technically still in the book. Just it was him. It was AI Tony Stark or something.
Imagine if they gave us Spider-Man, but Peter Parker is dead and it's his ghost, and the main character is, I don't know, like some Asian chick without actual spider powers.
They almost did that, except it was Doc Ock. Dr. Octopus.
That wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad.
I actually liked that story. Superior Spider-Man, that was a good story. That was one of the better ones that they had in a long time. It wasn't great, but it was interesting enough that, it was different.
Well, from
a super villain win and try to be a hero. I thought that was an interesting idea.
And then they brought him back.
Yeah, he was coming back.
I know, but they... I don't... I thought it was okay when they brought him back for that first Spider-Verse event, and I was like, okay. Because I like the arrogant Dr. Octopus' Spider-Man, but now I think that he's back in a clone body, and he's the superior octopus, and I'm just like, you're overdoing it. Just make him...
They brought him back for a little while, yeah, and then they... Because I actually read the reboot book when they brought him back, and then at the end of it, they killed him. Well, he didn't. He got his old body back through a deal with Mephisto, basically. That's how it happened. They pretty much erased all of the progression they gave Dr. Octavius and turned him right back into what he used to be, which was a shame because I thought you could do a lot with that character.
I thought like making him kind of I don't want to be cheesy and say more sinister. a more sinister anti-hero persona for him, where I like the dynamic with that. Who was the short girl?
Oh, Anna Maria?
Yeah, Anna Maria. I actually thought that was a really cool relationship that they had.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
Yeah,
just
so
all been
that-
wiped out.
It's all pretty much gone. Well, he doesn't remember his time as Superior Spider-Man.
Wait, what?
Got
Oh,
wiped away.
okay.
Yeah, so
So basically, they didn't learn their lesson from New Day. They brought Mephisto back in to fuck things up.
well, I think they're waiting to do something with that still, because he's been mentioning it lately in a few comics.
Oh, really?
Oh, am I faint? Hold on. And maybe I'll sound better now. I just turned my gain up, so
Okay, guys, let me...
auto-tune.
YellowFlash. Ah, man. I like the Superior Spider-Man. The thing is, Dan Slott's a piece of shit, right? But
He's a scumbag.
he totally is.
He's a scumbag. Well, you know, he was writing himself. He was writing himself there. That's why that was such a good run, because Superior Spider-Man was Dan Slott. I do believe that. I didn't, when I was reading that book, I didn't know anything about him because I wasn't on social media, you know. And then, you know, you jump in and get on social media and you see what a dickbag he is.
I mean, but the thing is, I can give him credit when he does something good, right?
Oh yeah, he did a good job there. And then his final run on Amazing Spider-Man was pretty good. The last what he did, I forget the name of it, was Norman Osborn in the Carnage suit. That's actually a really good story. He was really spotty though with regular Amazing Spider-Man. Really spotty.
Yeah, the thing is, right? You can give him credit when he does a decent comic, right? When he does something good, when he tells a decent story. Like his run with Superior Spider-Man, it was entertaining, right? Went for, was it 31 issues, I think?
For Superior?
The original run of Superior.
Yes, 30 something issues. All of it was really good except for the Venom stuff. I didn't care for that arc. You know, remember what I'm talking about?
Oh, where he takes it off of Flash Thompson?
Yeah. And he wears it again. I thought that was kind of stretched out.
Yeah. I mean, overall though, as a series, you can give him credit for what he did there. My thing is, like, these guys at Marvel, including Dan Slott, they cannot give anybody else credit if you aren't ideologically aligned with them. I'm just like, fuck off, man.
No, they'll kick you out. They'll kick you out.
I
mean, that's what founded the whole Comicsgate thing.
I think it's great, right? So, you know, obviously, we're gonna avoid talking about the Wu flu, yellow fever, but I think it's great that now that that's happening, they all of a sudden are. That's the reason why comics are failing. Like, no, bitch, that started in fucking February, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at home going through my old comic book collection. I could go online right now and buy your fucking comics, and I'm not doing it. And, you know, with the amount of people who are stuck at home, right, who are still patronizing these things digitally, they're still not buying your comic books, right? So it's got nothing to do with the virus. And then they try to do, what is it? Compare, like, they'll say graphic novel sales. Those are just fine. So they can go and
they
look.
mix in manga sales now with it.
Yeah, they go to Shonen Jump.
Just started doing that. Yeah, they just started doing that a few months ago.
I'm like,
They
dude,
just stuck them in there.
Yeah.
It's up now.
Huh?
Oh, the sales are up now.
Yeah,
But then they don't say, you know, hey, we're this My Hero Academia. It was always in there.
No, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, do not compare yourself with what they do there, because, you know, I've been reading through manga for probably about the same amount of time I'm reading through comic books, and I'm still reading One Piece. You know, I haven't stopped reading One Piece. I'm still going through that. Like,
I really want to read One Piece, but I'm so intimidated by it because it's been for so long.
I don't
want to get into it.
It is very long.
3 years to catch up.
You know what though? I think it's reaching the end. I would say probably in the next 2 to 3 years, they may actually finish the series. At that point, you should just go through and binge through it because there is so much there. The author for One Piece will literally bring something up that he planted in like 4 years ago, right? That you aren't even thinking about, and he's referencing back to that shit. It is incredible the amount of growth these characters go through, and the best part about One Piece, I'm fanboying on One Piece here a little bit, but the best part about One Piece is each of the characters in the Straw Hat group, right? They each have their own goal, and it's not like in most shonen series where the main character, like Goku or something, right? All of them want to be the best fighter. Obviously, it's going to be Goku, and then everyone sort of just falls to the wayside. Whereas in One Piece, you've got Luffy, he wants to be king of the pirates. Sanji wants to be the best chef. Zoro wants to be the best swordsman. Frankie wants to build the best ship and make it to the final island in the Grand Line. So, like, stuff like that, it makes One Piece really fun because you're watching all of these characters grow and attain and try to reach that goal. It's different from everything else, but if you ever have the chance to, like, especially with this whole lockdown stuff, it might be the time to just go through and start reading it because there's so much there and you're going to just fall in love. I guarantee it.
Yeah, maybe I probably will. I do like when they go back to old stuff. Reminds me of when they did you read or watch Naruto?
Yeah, no,
Like
I love
when they went
Naruto.
back and they did the whole reveal that Itachi was like an agent of Konoha, and they showed like how he was, how he spared Sasuke and all that stuff. I thought that wow, that's so great.
Well,
I didn't see it coming.
Well, I mean, the setup that they had with everything that happens with Minato, right? When they go back, and it turns out that Toby is Obito, who's Kakashi's original teammate.
I feel like that one, though, so many people were hinting at that. Like, that was a theory forever.
True. True. But the one thing that I did love, and I thought that the way that they transitioned it into the anime, because I rag on the anime really hard, but when they did the fight between Kakashi and Obito, and then they did it in the anime, I thought that was perfect. Where they do the cutbacks to when they're training with Minato and everything, and all the fighting is just on point. Like, the one problem though is Naruto was amazing, right? And it finishes perfectly, and then they gave us Boruto.
I don't even watch it or read it. I don't know. When they say he died, I'm like, I fucking don't want to know he died. He fucking just became Hokage like last week.
I know, right?
Dead. I'm like, can I enjoy it for a while?
Yeah, and I think who is it? I forget who writes Naruto, but then he tried making, I think, another series called Samurai 7, which didn't take off. Then I think he ran back to doing Boruto. So I don't know, man. I think if you just
Samurai 7 still around?
I think that was the name of it. He started his own series and it just was not taking off at all. And then
Is
I think
he still doing it, or did he end it? Did it end?
You know, I'll be frank with you. I really
didn't read it.
I read 2 issues and I just put it.
Sometimes it just doesn't hit. Like, I didn't like Dr. Slump, but I like Dragon Ball, so.
Well, yeah, those are 2 different things, though. Are you talking like original Dragon Ball, or are we talking Dragon Ball Z?
Sometimes all this. Okay, yeah, Samurai 8 got canceled.
Okay. Okay. I think Samurai 7's is an anime though. Okay, we're way off topic, so that's my fault. But yeah, no, they've been throwing in graphic novel sales into comic book sales to inflate their numbers. They'll blame this whole Modelo fever on tanking their sales. It's just a total fucking denial of reality, and I don't. It's like a child, right? Or no, it's like a rat, right? And there's this little thing of cheese, and the cheese is the money. And like, no, I don't even know how to describe this shit. You'd think that they would just fucking learn. It's like they keep doing the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over again. They keep getting zapped. They keep getting zapped. They keep getting zapped. They keep thinking that this little fucking cheese thing, this woke ideology, is profit, and it never is, because these motherfuckers don't buy fucking comic books.
Well, they don't care about making money. That's the big thing. Because they're boutique brands. Both DC and Marvel are kind of boutique brands. They're just seen as cool little, and I think that might change after this year, especially now that AT&T bought Disney, or AT&T bought Warner Brothers, and they both have a lot of debt. Now that they're combined, the debt is massive. So they need to get rid of that debt. And one thing that they've been looking at, as far as what a lot of the inside people have been talking about, is DC Comics, that publishing arm. I do think you're going to see DC Comics shut down. As far as Marvel goes, I don't know. Maybe if that stock keeps plunging for Disney, maybe they'll start caring about money, and that's going to change the whole industry. Because right now, the industry doesn't seem to care about money. These people think that everything runs on the government or something. I don't know. They all sit there and say they're not in comics for money. All of them, constantly. If you're into comics to make money, you're in the wrong business.
Well, man, maybe you're in the wrong fucking business then. Jesus.
Yeah, I think you're in the wrong business. Exactly.
Oh, man. So with DC Comics, I remember when they launched with that what was it, the New 52 thing, right? And there was a lot of stuff I disliked. But one of the things they did, they brought back Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, and they had this really interesting storyline. At least it was interesting to me, with her brother, right, who's a psychopath. And
I remember.
I like that, right? I was like, they can do some really interesting stuff. And then all of a sudden, they rebranded her with this purple outfit that she puts together on her own. She's got she's a hipster now. And I'm just, why are we doing this shit? And what the fuck is there a hipster part of Gotham City? Like,
oh yeah, I remember that. That was such cringe.
I was like,
that was when Gail Simone took it over. I don't remember.
I think so. But
she eventually left the book, and that was like one of the first series that I trashed when I first started my channel was Batgirl, because there was such cringe in that book. Because there was one where like the Penguin was sledding on flat surface, like, and he just rolls up. I can't explain it. I'd have to go back and read the book, but it's just like there was so much stupid stuff in that book. Yeah, Burnside is not in Gotham. Somebody said in the chat.
Okay, is it? Here's the thing.
It's probably like Bloodhaven, so it's like kind of next to it.
I'm just saying, man, if you had like this hipster area where, I mean, let's be honest, most of these hipster motherfuckers, they come from kind of wealthy-ish families, right? If I was a supervillain in Gotham, I would go there and I would rob all of them repeatedly every single day. Then I would wait to get a fucking slap on the wrist because I'm misunderstood by society. And it'd be perfect for me because I'm Palestinian, so I can claim that they're all racist. There
you go. You get the car with. You should apply there, man. They probably give you a job.
Right? Oh, dude, I totally could. I mean, I've never written a comic book before. I have no history.
That's okay. Most
I know. I'd be bringing all these new ideas. I'm not tainted with experience or knowledge or anything beneficial. Oh gosh. Which okay, guys. I'm gonna flip the screen over. Wait, what was that from Toad Down here? Gail Simone hasn't written anything good in over 10 years. Hashtag changed my mind. Yeah.
Toy Bonnet, he's right. Yeah, she hasn't written anything in a long time.
When was the last time she did write anything good? Like, I'm trying to remember.
I was never really. If it was anything, I don't know if she wrote it or not, to be honest.
Oof. Okay, I'm going to flip the screen over. We're going to talk about the first brainchild here. And I don't understand why they're doing this. Only because it wasn't... how do I say it? It wasn't the Comicsgate people that I saw dragging this hard at all. I mean, we were making fun of it, right? You were making fun of it. I was having a laugh. But the woke people this was apparently made for were pissed. right?
Yeah, that was what was different. Yeah. It's currently at 188,000 dislikes.
Jesus.
45,000 comments of shit too. But you know what's you know what the real funny thing is? I know you want to go into this later, but the Gotham High thing, they actually turned their comments off today.
Well, I think that they learned from they learned the wrong lesson from New Warriors, apparently.
Yeah, but I gotta give, like, Marvel didn't turn their comments off. I gotta give them that at least. They didn't turn the comments off.
Which,
I mean, that's something.
that is true. They're willing to listen to people, just not hear them.
I don't know if they're gonna actually take that criticism in, but at least they didn't turn the comments off.
True.
DC's like, nope.
Well, I mean, I don't think they want to turn the comments off because they want to cherry pick
Maybe they
comments.
don't know how.
You're probably right. I was gonna say though,
I don't think I know how to. I don't even know if I don't even know how to turn the comments off. I know some channels do that. I don't know how to turn any of that shit.
You know,
off.
if you're gonna make content and you have to turn your comments off, maybe you should stop making content. I think that's
true.
But like, I think that the reason why those comments are left on there is so that they can go through and cherry pick the worst comments that they can find, right? And then say, this is representative of everybody. Like, because I cannot stand when these people do that, but you know that they look for the one person who just goes maybe a little too far, and then immediately tries to phrase that one person.
That means it's everybody. Yeah, everyone's doing it. Everybody. Stupid.
Well, didn't they call?
It's not gonna end.
Well, didn't they call? If you had an issue with New Warriors, wasn't there someone calling it racist? And I'm just like,
Donny Cates. Donny Cates said everybody's a bigot. Yeah, there's no other reason why anybody would think this book is shit.
I mean,
than the internet gas, and then the fat hero that charges into action, Tumblr, Morbius, and then I mean,
I was just
many things you can say.
I see
typical jock.
Yeah, the typical jock. Fucking hell. But I wasn't calling. I was calling that kid Hot Topic, and I was calling the fat one Food Consumer, because I thought that those. See, I didn't understand this, right? They gave 3 of them names, right? And they're going to use those names that they get called, and they're going to wear them as a badge of pride because they're like the 8-year-old in school who doesn't understand when they're being made fun of. But if you're going to do that for 3 of your characters, should you not name the fat chick something more on the nose? Like, you already named...
They did. I think she's supposed to be Native American, and they named her Trailblazer. Which I think a lot of people didn't even pick out at first.
I mean, isn't that racist, technically? Like, by their rules?
Yeah, under their ideology, yeah.
Wow, imagine if I was in a comic book and I named the Arab people Sand People.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't go very well.
It's okay. Native Americans don't have a very strong voice. There's not enough of them to start a movement against Marvel, so I guess that one's okay. But then be negative, right? I was listening. I keep saying that name over and over again. I'm like, this kid's fucking Hot Topic. Like he is. He's legit Hot Topic. He's that episode of South Park. Remember where the goth kids are pissed off because the vampire kids have taken over?
Yeah.
But I knew this was going to be shit. Not just from the images. The person who made this garbage, his last name's Kibblesmith.
Yeah, I did a fun video on him the other day from his millionaire matchmaker. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
I don't know if you watched it or not, but there's a whole $1 million matchmaker thing that he did, and he's like afraid to kiss the girls, and like he's a really strange guy.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
the girl's like, kiss me, and he leans in real slow, and then she gives him a little peck. He's like, oh.
Oh man.
Like his reaction, it's terrible. Oh, it's really bad. And there's one part where this girl, like, she's like, let's do a little dancing, and he's like, oh, okay, and they dance for like 20 seconds, and all of a sudden he's like, I would like to stop.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, is he just like, God, what do you call that? Like, what would be the... I mean, I know that these assholes use incel.
Gay?
No, well, maybe, but I know
I
they
think he's
use.
gay. Well, you know he did.
He
Santa's
seems like
husband.
he seems like he's a voluntary celibate. So what would you call that?
I think he's gay
You think he's gay?
because he did Santa's husband, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it if he is. But it's like obviously, I mean, I guess he's married, so that's kind of thing. I guess he did end up finding a woman. Uh, I wonder. That's not a very. I'm sure there's very little sex in that relationship, but
Well, do you think
like
she's
he wrote a book called
a beard?
he wrote a book called Santa's Husband.
Okay.
So you take the idea that you take the knowledge that he wrote a book called Santa's Husband, then you go watch that $1 Million Matchmaker episode he was on. The guy's into guys. This is Brokeback Mountain. So him and his artist are going up into the hills. They're not doing cowboy stuff. They're, just doing the Brokeback Mountain part.
I don't know, man. Like, he could be just like 150% a cuck that's actually just really into the other dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's into women at all. You need to watch it. It's 40 minutes, but it's really eye-opening because I'm telling you,
my gosh.
there's two dudes in it. I've never watched these shows before. It's a cringy show, but there's another dude on there, and the other guy's like a prince from Denmark or something. And yeah, he's just like a German prince or something, and he's the other person they're finding love for. And his eyes light up when he meets the prince. Like he's like, wow, that's so cool. I've never met a prince. Tell me about it. And he's like, listen, this is the coolest guy I've ever met. Because they pull them off and do a little they look into the camera and talk. You've seen reality TV,
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, this guy is already the coolest guy I've ever met. He was more into the prince dude than he was any of the women that he was supposed to be there hooking up with. And then he writes Santa's Husband. He's into dudes.
Do you think maybe that's why they got him on the show? It was like a contrast. Like here's a manly prince from fucking Denmark, and here's a closeted homosexual.
Maybe they wanted to do a compare and contrast.
I don't know.
Who knows?
So I was looking at the New Warriors art and everything. And I told one of my coworkers about this, right? Because he's super into comics. He loves a lot of the like his favorite character is like Wolverine, right? Like he loves Wolverine. Huge fan. And specifically the 80s design, right? Where he would go and fight with Cyclops and shit. So I'm sitting there and I'm just ruining things for him because he hasn't really read anything recent. And I'm explaining, hey, have you checked out New Warriors? He goes, I think I've read that in the past, right? And I go, yeah, no, you should really check this out. So I pulled it up on the computer at work, right? And I'm going through. It's like, so this guy is made from internet gas, and he's just like jaw drops. He's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Well, if he's a big fan of Wolverine, you should have told him about the.
Oh, I did.
The menage a trois with Cyclops and Jean Grey over on the moon.
I did. Oh fuck, I
did. What did you say about that?
He said I ruined comic books for him.
Yes, I think it's ruined a lot of things for people. So I think that's gonna be undone.
I would
reveal that there's something going on with the X-Men because I've been reading that whole X-Men run and there's obviously something going on. So
I mean maybe
I find it more funny that they won't outright say they're doing it. They just hint, and then all the shill outlets are running around. Oh yeah, they're gay. It's so awesome, but they never actually say it. But just hinting at it is enough. Like, I just find it they're not pushed to outright come out and say, is this going on or not? These people don't really care about any of the stuff that they stand up for.
I mean, like, here's my problem, right? If you want to do this shit, right? If you want to have a gay superhero, fine. Like, there's no issues with that. I think what is it? DC's got who is it? Midnighter, right? The dude's gay, and he's like Batman meets, I don't know, like Punisher or something, right? Nothing wrong.
Yeah, people liked that character.
Yeah, no, it's entertaining. Like, it's legitimately entertaining. But can you just imagine if a writer took that over and said, you know what? he's not into dudes anymore. He's into women now, right? Because that would help us identify with a larger audience. They'd be fucking up in arms, ready to burn down DC Comics. So why the fuck are you turning? Why are you turning straight characters fucking gay and bisexual? And like I can't remember. It was like Spider-Man, right? They put him in that weird relationship, and everyone wants Spider-Man to be fucking bisexual. And I'm sitting there going, like, why? You want a fucking bisexual fucking Spider-Man? Go make a new fucking character and put it on the market and see how it fucking does. Because I guarantee you, no one's gonna want to fucking read it because they want to read fucking Spidey. They don't want to read about his bisexual lifestyle. Like, I don't get that at all. Like, and you know, man, I'm Palestinian, like I said, right? I don't identify, and I'm from the Bay Area. I'm not from fucking New York City. I don't identify with Peter Parker because we share the same skin color or anything like that. I identify with Peter Parker because of his struggles, right? No matter how hard he gets knocked down, the dude always gets back up, right? He always, no matter what people say about him, even when he does everything right, he'll still have some trash article written about him, and he just goes on doing what he's doing because he knows it's the right thing. Like, that sort of thing is a powerful message. That's the thing I look to, and you know, I'm a nerd. I'm a total fucking nerd. Yeah, I'm inspired by it. That's why I got the fucking Spider-Man tattoos, because I grew up on that message. These idiots today, they don't even care about any of that. They want characters that represent what they see as being progressive, and I'm like, you guys are just obsessed with people's fucking skin color. You're obsessed with their fucking genitalia. You're obsessed with who they're going to be fucking sleeping with at night. I'm like, I mean, other than the third one. Anyway, so I was looking at this Trailblazer design, right? And the entire time I'm thinking about it, it's basically Dora the Explorer, right? Because her special power is backpack. And I will forgive this entire comic if we get Swiper in it.
It could happen.
It could. She reaches into the backpack and she pulls out a fucking box with a mask on it.
I just feel bad because I won't get a physical copy that I can like tear up, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I would put it in a blender or something. That would have been a fun video.
Well, are you going to be doing that with Gotham High? Are you going to make a Gotham High smoothie?
Now, those are too hard to do because it's a graphic novel. Won't fit.
You could. Oh, you know what you could do?
I've done that with a comic book before. Put it in a blender. That was fun.
Oh, you could.
I had to go outside and pour it in the sewer.
Well, it served its purpose. You've probably fed some rats.
Yeah, probably. They got a taste of something.
I gotta take Trailblazer off. So screen time, Mr. Internet Gas. That the only thing about this design here, it looks okay, right? The costume looks okay, right?
I think they all look like they're from Tumblr.
Yeah. I agree.
He looks like a cheap Cyclops with those. I mean, what is? I guess it's so he's hooked up to the internet.
Well, so
why does he need that? He had the experimental gas, so why does he need that visor?
So when I heard about his like powers and everything, and I was like, okay, so it's kind of like Extremis, right? From you remember the Iron Man Extremis arc, right? And he gains the ability to basically control everything. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so that could be kind of cool, but no, it's literally Google. And like he can Google anything. I'm like, yeah, so can I.
Can't you get? They have glasses for that now too. So.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But I'm like, this isn't a superpower. Like, fuck, anyone can do this. Just pull out your fucking phone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but the big ones, like the Snowflake in Safe Space, and the one thing I really can't stand, right? So I keep saying the more feminine one because I guess I hate this they them shit because it makes saying their fucking when you're trying to refer to them, it is annoying as all hell.
It's like two people.
Yeah, right?
I have the same problem. I don't like it.
Okay, so for just this sake, we'll say the feminine one. and the masculine one. So it's a she. It's a fucking she. It's a woman. And look at the design, and this is the like the character art and everything. But then you look at the official like panel page, right? And that's a woman. There's nothing. It's this weird thing where straight women want to declare themselves as being non-binary, so that they're part of the LGBTQ IA plus Z alpha group.
Oh yeah, well that's a whole different conversation.
But hold on, right? I look at this character, and it exemplifies that entire thing. There's nothing non-binary there. There's nothing that I would say, oh well, I really can't tell. And the thing is, you know, we read manga, right? There are characters in manga that are specifically, the correct term would be androgynous, and you kind of can't tell, right?
That's where the whole trap thing comes from, right?
Yeah, totally. 100. Yeah. But like this shit, it looks like a female. It looks like a woman. There's nothing, because they have short hair? Like, our women have short hair. Like, you should have given the dude like longer hair or something to like really just fuck with that. But I guess they're just trying to redefine gender roles, and I can't do this shit. Like, I don't. The stereotypical jock comment, though, that was the one where it just broke me. I saw.
I never had my ass kicked by anybody that looks like that.
Dude, like in high school, like our jocks were like the Samoan kids.
Yeah, jocks. Nobody looked like that, dude.
Dude, if you showed up with pink earrings and you dyed your hair pink, and then you want to try out for any type of sport, get your ass beat in my school. Get your fucking ass beat. Like, I'm not saying I'm okay with that. I'm just saying you get your fucking ass beat. You ain't stereotypical jock. You're that cringy weirdo kid that you know, will get his ass handed to him, and then it becomes a whole thing about how you're anti something or another. Ugh. And then
you better be careful talking about this stuff. You need to get monetized someday.
I know, but I can't lie. This is just weird.
They're gonna listen to this. They're gonna listen to this stream and nope.
Yeah, one of these days when I go for monetization, you're just gonna see half the videos of my channel disappear.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay, but Snowflake and Safe Space. I couldn't. I saw that, right? And I was like, nah, someone's having a dance with me. Someone is like just fucking with us. It's a total fucking parody. And I thought it was making fun of Marvel, right? I thought that we were making fun of how woke that they're getting, that they wanted to just screw with us, right? So someone had made this this fucking parody comic, and it was just going to be making fun of all the shit. But no, and then it turned out to be real. And
well, anybody that's been following them for the past couple of years knows this is totally real. I mean, this was the peak for Marvel right here, and that it hit during the whole beer bug thing, that just made it even worse for everybody.
Well, I mean, I was gosh, I watched like Tim Pool and everything, and I remember he was talking about, you know, with the whole thing going around, right? You can't do this woke bullshit. You can't complain about fucking non-binary trans female athletes and this other shit, because you can only do that when everything in your life is perfect, right? When the nation is perfectly nice and safe, and feelings matter more than anything else. Like these, I guess a silver lining.
All of a sudden, those bullshit problems don't mean very much anymore.
No, not at all.
So they're on Twitter. I saw like somebody posting like pictures of like, you know, some trans people, and like, we still exist. It's like, there's like 50,000 people dying all over the world right now, probably, and no one cares.
Yeah, right. Like, don't get me wrong, you know. You do you, I'll do me. You want me to refer to you as a certain thing? I don't care. Just as long as grammatically it doesn't twist my fucking mind like a pretzel.
Stop trying to change all of my shit. Just leave me alone, and we're cool. Like, stop trying to go and change my comics and movies and video games and his woke bullshit. And I think that no one would have a problem, but
Oh no, they
you know,
can't. They don't stop. All right, so the final character is Hot Topic the Kid, and he legit. This is what you would look like if you spent a few days shopping there, right? You could get the makeup to bleach to make your skin look bleached white. I mean, maybe not make your eyes or your ears sharp, but they got the fake little fangs there. They got the little cheap ass contacts to make your eyes look red, and then this is something you could actually put together if you shop there. The only thing it's missing is black lipstick. Let's be honest.
I've been calling him Tumblr Morbius.
I mean, it works. That works too, man. So the thing is, though, somehow you look at this shit, and he's probably the most well put together out of the entire bunch.
Yeah, he's the least, like, this is the one I think, okay, well, maybe you can do something with him, but the rest are terrible.
Well, yeah, it's pretty easy. You throw this kid out into the sun.
Yeah.
All right. So, new Warriors, please. I see. I tell people, like, you know, do your thing if you really want to check this stuff out. But like, oh man, don't waste your money. Now, Gotham High is Gotham High is just something else. And I did a video, and I was like, you know what? I think Gotham High is like this woman's fantasy, right? Where they talk about like fucking Joker being hot and everything. And I'm like, this woman is writing her high school fantasy series, right? And then they did this interview, and Bounty and Comics reported on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was right. She's like, I wanted Bruce Wayne to be half Asian because I'm part Asian and I can really identify with that. Okay? And because they're teenagers, obviously it needs to be a romance series. And I'm like, why are we doing Batman?
Yeah, well, did you read the Entertainment Weekly interview they did?
I read through it in Bounty the Comics. I didn't go through the Entertainment Weekly itself.
Oh, okay. Well, like the author says, you know, I'm this way and this and that. Basically injecting themselves as usual, which is what they all do. They inject themselves into the character instead of taking on the character. They want to put themselves into the character. That's kind of the big thing. It's like, well, I'm Asian. Now Bruce is going to be Asian. I mean, it's kind of the thing. Or I'm this way. I do this. So now the character does. They basically write themselves into the character. No matter who they are, really. It's just like the thing with
the illustrator did it too.
Obviously, Dan Slott.
But the illustrator did it too, right? So when he's talking about Joker's design, he goes, well, yeah, I used to have that haircut, so I really wanted to design the Joker after me. And I'm like, fuck off. You people are fucking narcissists. Nobody cares about your fucking lives. This is Batman, Joker, and Selina Kyle. And that's what true. We want to read. We don't want to read your fucking autobiography. We don't want to read about you. We want to read about the character. And the thing is, if you feel, because, you know, you're warped and you're twisted and you're just horrible people, that your life is so super special awesome that everybody needs to know about it, then go write a comic book and title it Me, right? Like, just do that shit. Don't take pre-existing characters and change them until they match what you feel represents you. And she literally says that shit, right? Like
yeah.
It's frustrating.
There's so much in this book.
so
Alfred is now his gay uncle. Never was around, but is now.
So which one's worse?
The mother,
Masha Dean.
That's where the money came from. Not Bruce's father. Not Thomas Wayne. Well, I don't even know what are they gonna. Is it still Thomas and Martha?
Well, okay, so
the money came from her family.
Masha Dean comes to America and she renames herself Martha because that. Like, I'm sitting there going, like, you know, my dad's from another country, right? He didn't change his name when he got here. I don't know very many immigrants that come to the United States and say, I'm going to change my name to be more white. Like, people don't fucking do that.
No, not the first generation, but they usually assimilate their kids
But that's
a
what
lot
I'm
of the
saying.
times.
So
Yeah.
I got the actual quote here.
So that's what Bruce. So Bruce is like, with that name would fit if this, and
Yeah.
it would make sense if this was like, not Bruce fucking Wayne,
Well,
not Batman.
but
If this was a normal story, yeah.
she is from Hong Kong. His mom in this comic is from Hong Kong, which apparently she wanted to do because she's a huge fan of Crazy Rich Asians, which
Yeah, I saw that.
well, she wanted Gossip Girl and she wanted Crazy Rich Asians. And I'm just, why, oh fucking why did you get this woman to write this book? Like, I there are people with talent that still work in these companies that are adjacent to these companies that would probably love to pick up these characters and expand upon that pre-existing lore, expand upon what actually makes those characters unique, even if they're going to take it in a weird direction, right? Like Flashpoint. You go back and you go Thomas Wayne, right? Well, what if Thomas Wayne survives? Well, he was a doctor, but because he sees his wife and son die, he becomes a casino owner so that he can keep track of criminals, and he just murders them. Right? It's still who Thomas Wayne was. It's just a very warped version of him because that one moment was changed, right? Like,
Yeah.
stuff like that. That someone writing that story has to kind of know the Batman mythos, right?
Well, her husband liked Batman. The writer, her husband liked Batman. That's why she took the deal, because her husband was a big Batman fan, so naturally she had to do it.
Oh my fucking god. That is like the worst fucking excuse I've ever heard. Like,
That's terrible. It's terrible. I'll give this a little bit of like slack compared to New Warriors, though, because this is at least still at the end of the day an Elseworld story.
True.
Whereas like New Warriors is main canon in the main universe. I still think this is shit, though. This is not going to do what they want, which is to bring young adults in, because this is being billed as a young adult novel. It's not going to sell. Nobody's going to read this.
Well, I mean,
no one's going to want this.
I mean, the thing is, man, people think Joker is cool, right? Like, people still think Joker is cool. Like, young adults and everything. They think Joker is edgy and all the bullshit he pulls. The crazy shit, right? The fact that this man literally will walk around with an acid flower and a fucking knife and he can go toe-to-toe with Batman, right? There's a level of just depravity and giving no fucks there that you could really have fun with, right? Instead, they do this shit, right? Like, fucking, this is not made for young adults. That's the thing. It's made for the author. It's made for her, right? It's made for the illustrator who is so excited to finally get a Batman property. He wanted to design the Joker after himself. Like, that's... They make the comic books for themselves, and then they try to sell it to other people. And don't get me wrong, man. Like, if you want to tell your own story, then just fucking tell your own story. Stop bastardizing pre-existing characters to do it.
No, I agree. But they won't do that, though.
No, of course not. They're narcissists, and they believe that they are more important than everybody else.
It's all about capturing that piece of important cultural history.
Let me ask you before we move on to the next one. This image right here of Selena Kyle, someone was saying like it is a copy of Shadowcat from X-Men, and the more I hear that, the more I kind of do see it. What do you think?
I don't know, because Shadowcat's not. So this is supposed to be Latino Selena Kyle or something. Shadowcat's not Latino.
I mean, this specific illustration right here, it does remind me of Shadowcat. Like, not altogether.
It kind of looks like her, but
I got stuck on that for the longest time. But yeah, when I said the author was basically writing her own fantasy, it seems like Selena Kyle is the main character here, right? She's the one
she's going to be for sure.
Okay, and she's Latino or Latina, or Latinx.
At least she doesn't look like a trailblazer. I mean, that's a point.
Can you just imagine a portly Catwoman?
Ugh.
Like, don't get me wrong, right? I don't have a problem with thicker women or anything like that,
Yeah, but
right?
I don't want to see that in comics. That's not what I read comics for. Comics people are supposed to look like Greek gods.
Well, because they're supposed to be like, especially with someone like Catwoman, she's kind of got to be very agile and stuff. You cannot do that. But I see those people like they redesign Wonder Woman to give her a fucking gut. Like, dude, she's literally a Greek god. All right, so we got 10 minutes left, and this one I think is funny. And Carlos Gomez reveals his final America Chavez design. Fans deem it over sexualized. I saw like the one thing, right? America Chavez's books, they don't sell at all. Right? They just do not sell. They keep
but these designs could help sell the book.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like there's an iceberg in front of you, and your ship is just sailing right towards it, right? Wouldn't you think at a certain point you'd turn around?
You would think so, yeah.
And that's the thing, right? So they call themselves fans of the character. Well, if her books aren't selling, like, maybe you're a fan of that character, but obviously you are such a small, tiny, teeny weeny portion of what they're trying to market to that it makes no sense to keep trying to market it to you. You don't show up, you don't buy the books in any great numbers. They need to do something else, or they just, they need to, Thanos the character. Snap the fingers and make her disappear.
No,
because
they'll just keep bringing it back. Though I will give them some credit compared to last time. This looks much better.
This is an attractive design. It absolutely is. And the thing is, that ass though, it's there.
It looks great.
It does. I'm not going to deny it. But there was a comment here. Let me see if I can find it. It was something about it looks like all her clothes are painted on her.
Yeah.
I'm like, do these idiots not get that's how they draw? That's how they're supposed to do it anyways. Like, they draw the characters naked and then they put the costumes on over them. That's
true. That's how you draw. I mean, I'm not even an artist or anything, but I've watched, people draw things on YouTube and Twitch, and they always do that outline, and then they start drawing it in. Like, literally, they all start naked.
So I'm like, if that's how you're supposed to do, like, I read this tweet and I'm like, are you high? And if you are, like, I moved to Indy and I don't have a source, so I'd like to reach out to this person and see if they can give me some of their stash, because they are on some good ass shit right now. Yeah. But like, I hate how she's posed, like, taking a more dynamic design on the character. Like, you do this stuff like this. That's a good pose for about to throw in a punch, I guess. This is nice. This is also nice. This is very nice. I'm an ass man. I'm not going to deny it. I see this character on the front page of comic books. I might pick it up. I might give it a shot. You need that initial appeal, right? I'm not saying every single page has got to be bent over and with her legs spread around and stupid shit like that. I'm not saying that. But you need something that's actually going to draw attention to the character, or else nobody's going to pick it up. Like, there's this terrible fucking Captain Marvel design where she's like freeform floating in the air, and her arms are supposed to be toned, but they look very skinny. And I'm just like, this isn't appealing. If I saw this as a cover page for anything, I wouldn't want to read it because it doesn't look like the person actually knows how to illustrate, Yeah,
there's so many bad Captain Marvel designs, it's hard to say. There's so many.
But if you want to keep proving that your ideology is terrible for fucking people and terrible for comic books, it's to ignore that there are certain aesthetics of the human body that you're not pleased with. And I don't know if it's because these people doing it hate themselves to this insane degree, but I kind of feel like they hate themselves to this insane degree. They draw these comic book characters to look as unappealing as humanly possible because it's how they see themselves when they look in the mirror. And maybe that's me being mean, but I think it's true.
No, I agree.
Yeah, at least with
We'll see if this one's better though. It can only go up from the last one that shipped 6,000 something units on its last issue.
oh man,
6,000. That's embarrassing. That's pretty low. I mean, theoretically, if 6,000 comic books in a shop, like, because that's not sold, that's shipped. So you could say theoretically, there's still like 5,500, like 6,000 issues still sitting around in comic shops unsold,
you know,
which is hilarious.
the thing is, right? If you are literally saying 6,000 comics shipped for a last issue, meaning what, less than half those people actually, less than half those issues probably sold in the stores, right? So what, we're talking at the most 3,000 people actually interested in the fucking character. Yeah, radically change her in every single way, shape, and form. Make her more appealing to look at. I don't know, but just do anything else, because obviously you're not going to offend that many people. And Twitter is not real life. Like, these idiots who complain about this shit on Twitter, like that one comment from that person literally complaining, it looks like her clothes are painted on. That doesn't sound like someone who reads comic books or has any concept of what a comic book is. It sounds like it's just someone who just saw the artwork and just said, "Ooh." But that's who they think are buying these books. And I'm just like, they never do.
They want them to, though. They want them to desperately.
But it's like it's I did the video on the new Overwatch character, right? If you keep trying to market to these individuals, they will always find something to complain about. Like, Overwatch has got a female bodybuilder, a toned lady who's like 6 feet tall. They got Mei, who's like short and chunky. They got a fucking robot that's got like 4 legs and shit and looks like a tiger or something. I don't know, but they've got a very diverse group of people, and they bring out a new character that's a robot that's got a slightly feminine design to it, and they all tweak out and say, "Oh well, this is what Jeff likes to fap to." I'm like, what the fuck do you look at, man? Like, come on, like stick figures.
It's so stupid. I saw that. I wanted to make a video on it, but I skipped it.
I mean, the thing is, I think Overwatch dug themselves into their own little grave with that shit, because they've
bent the knee a bunch of times.
Well, it's not just bending the knee. They produce a game that's got like no backstory to it at all, and they constantly go out there with, "Oh, by the way, this character, it turns out that she's bisexual, guys." And they
no, now you know.
I'm like,
wait, what'd you want in the game? Done.
I'm saying that
character right there, they, them.
Yeah, but like, the game is literally none of that. None of these characters have any real story to it. There's no story mode in Overwatch. So why do I care if in some sort of, tie-in comic that's only available on your website that's like 5 pages long, oh, it turns out we made her bisexual, so support our book, and Torbjorn's gay. It's like the J.K. Rowling shit, except it's happening in real time. Man, I don't have anything else, my dude. But let me ask you, with comic sales tanking, you're predicting DC Comics is likely going to be shut down. I would think it's going to be reworked in some way, but what do you think is going to happen with Marvel? Because Marvel is constantly coming out with the most insane bullshit. It's like there's nobody there to just tell them, stop what you're doing.
The real boss is Sana Amanit, or Amanit. I forget how to say her last name, but she's like, we used to work for Obama and all this stuff, and she got the job at Marvel, and she's the one that's really in charge at Marvel. CB Cebulski, he's just shoving his fat face all day long. He's not really doing anything. And the dude, like the day like everything's like about to shut down, he's talking about saving sandwich shops
What?
in New York, not
What?
fucking comic shop. Yeah, it's I made a video cussing that shit out because I was so irritated. But he's the editor in chief, but he's not really in charge. The real person in charge is that Sana Aminet. She's the one that's running the show over there, and she's the one pushing all this woke shit. Until Disney cracks the whip on them, and maybe that'll happen now that they're losing money. I don't. But the comic book industry is for sure going to be completely different, probably in a year or two. I would have said, they might have had a year left, like 2 or 3 years or whatever. But there's going to be so many shops that close because of this beer bug stuff. I mean, there's 4 that have already closed like this week. I think a couple closed like last week, and there's less than 2,000 left. So there's a lot of shops that are going to close over the next couple of months, and it's just going to accelerate things a lot quicker than we all thought.
I
That's for sure going to happen.
I feel bad for the comic shops. I do, because
I feel bad for a lot of them, but not all of them, because a lot of them have had the power to stand up and say stuff, and they haven't.
I
They
mean,
keep buying hundreds of #1 copies and doing all this stuff.
true.
Some of them are partially to blame.
I'm talking
Not
about
all
like
of them.
I'm talking
There's
about
good
like
shops.
a lot of the mom and pop shops, and everything that
Yeah,
I've
them, not like the Manhattan comics, like Midtown
no,
comics, the real gigantic one. That one is the one that's largely to blame because they
yeah,
buy most of the books. Most of the books come from the shops in LA and New York City. And then
that's
there's the mom
true.
and pop shops,
But
and they're the ones that got screwed.
well, I mean, they're like little tiny shops in California. Like, not I'm not talking about these big places, but they're small time, and they've been there forever. And
Yeah.
you go there, and you can just tell they are dead. Like, and I mean, like, they got the old classic shit up on the wall, and they love it, and the new shit is just like garbage to them. It's trash to them, and they're just waiting for their doors to close down. Like, it's sad. Like, it's fucking sad. But before you head out, do you mind if we just go 5 minutes and just read through the most recent chats in here? Because some of this shit's funny.
Yeah, sure.
Oh man, Toy Bounty Hunters. Dude, it's not Selena Kyle, it's Selena Gomez. Get it right. I'm sorry. A lot of people talking about thick. We're getting a lot of butt and peaches sent to us. Kayla.
Peach.
Yeah, well, I think Kayla is also into the posterior region. Chrono, Yare Yare. Are you do you know JoJo's or no?
I think so. I see
Okay.
a lot of names I recognize. Yeah.
Oh no, JoJo's the anime. Yare
Oh,
Yare.
Joe. No, I didn't watch it. I don't watch it.
Ah, man, you're missing out on so much good stuff. You got to watch JoJo's, and you have to read One Piece. I wish I had art style like
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
yes.
Yeah, just the anime style. I can't get into it.
It's
Like all the dudes look like and dudes looking like women is nothing new in anime, but they look like almost drag-ish. From what
okay.
I've seen.
Yes, once you get to like season 5, part 5, really, but part 3, Stardust Crusaders, those dudes are fucking chads all the fucking way through. Especially Jotaro. That man, that is a man's man, and I'm being like 100% beat the shit out of anybody. Crow, drop the JoJo. Let it go. Abort.
It's a little off topic, but is Vic still doing voices for that show? Or they finally
No,
can him off, or is he still working there?
no, because JoJo's is not like a traditional anime series. Each part has a new cast. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. That's why I said
Kind
like,
of interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, no, it carries over. So part
So it's
one,
kind of like Tenchi Muyo.
it, I wouldn't really call it like
I
that.
mean, not like the same. I mean, it's the same concept.
Yeah. So part one is Joseph Joestar, or actually Jonathan Joestar. Part two is his grandson, Joseph Joestar. Part three is that man's grandson, which is Jotaro.
Oh, so it's still the same universe, kind,
Yeah, they're
but it's
all
like a different generation.
exactly,
Oh, okay, well
exactly.
that's kind of interesting.
It is. And but the problem is getting through part one's very boring, but you kind of got to do it to really enjoy all the greatness of part two. And don't listen to them. Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out. I think that concept's interesting.
All right, man. Well, thank you so much for
I'll
tuning.
think about it.
I'm going to be DMing you every single day. Did you watch JoJo's yet? What do you think of JoJo's? Is Jotaro your favorite? All right, guys. We gotta let YellowFlash go. He's got a ton of videos that he's got to do tonight. So we don't want to keep him any longer. Thank you so much for hopping in. Hopefully, we can have you on again. And Jonathan Joestar is the shit. No, man, Joseph is the best Joestar. Period. But go ahead and say goodbye before I interrupt and make this whole stream about JoJo's.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's fun. Had a good conversation.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you here for the next stream on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Bye.